I'm Jack. I'm here down at the Nerang Rockcote showroom. Today we're going to be using their brand new Microcement. Prior to laying the base coat over the substrate, this was all sanded back, and then we removed any dust, any grime with a damp cloth and let that dry and cure before laying the base coat on top. This is really important that any grime, any dust is removed before laying the base coat on top. We've applied a base coat to a tabletop. Rockcote's micro base can be used over a number of surfaces: tiles, timber, concrete, prepared correctly, and the sound surface, it's an easy application with its embedded mesh. So now that we've applied our micro base to our bench top and our surrounding bathroom behind us, we're about to mix up Microstone. Now this comes in a 2-part plus pigment, so we're just going to pre-mix our pigment into the buckets and then add our part B slowly after. Rockcote's Microstone comes in a variety of colours. This is its natural form, a white natural base. We're going to be mixing our tint in with our part A Microstone. This is a concrete-like finish, and it's handy to have a brush just to get out the remaindance in the tub as we're mixing. Consistently and consistent, mate, is what we're after. Yeah, it's a nice bit of movement in it. As you apply your trowel, it loosens up. A little bit of texture, a little bit of chatter marks, the grain comes through and liquid rising to the surface. With this base coat, just want to keep it sort of tight, no sort of lines in it, because we're going to trowel whilst it's still wet, the second coat on top. So here we've applied the first coat of Microstone. As you can see, we've applied it and left some of it open. This sort of creates effect in the top coat. You don't need to work it too much. It all gets worked over in the second coat. And over here, Tony's applied the second coat of Microstone, where he's sort of troweling and burnish it and creating an effect, a smooth effect with slight tones.
As you can see, it's a slightly smooth finish with some rugged patches throughout. Once you've applied the wool, you can go back over it, give it like 20 minutes or so, and just get a nice smooth burnish to it all.
So here we started applying the first coat of Microstone. This is it in its natural white colour. We're using a flexi trowel for this. Lines, dags, do you want to take lines out of it? Any sort of broken up, sort of airy created bits, leave them in there. This then adds an effect later on in the top coat. And just tidying up your edges with a bull nose or an external corner trowel, whatever you've got in your toolbox. So we're just about to apply the second coat of Microstone. When applying this, use a steel trowel. I like to use small movements to create some sort of depth and some sort of tone. As you can see, when using this stuff, it's nice and creamy underneath the trowel. You can move it around. Has a good bit of body to it, so thickness, it'll get over any sort of missed bits in your first coat, and anything that was in the base coat that you were concerned about, it can cover it easily.
Bucket's been sitting for 20 minutes and it's just as creamy as it was when we first mixed it up.
Like most Microcements, you can have the clinical, seamless, smooth look, but with Rockcote, there's a good grain to the thickness or density of the material you use here, so you can create some really cool pits, some really cool sort of mist bits, and create that worn sort of concrete finish, almost a concrete finish that's sort of already been there for, say, 5 or 6 years and just weathered itself. You can then go from something just a little bit more smooth and work sort of the fat into it and the milk into it, and to sort of work it around with a light spray of water. So it can give you the two huge contrasts in your smooth and sort of your rough, worn, textured areas, depending on what the customer wants. We've let this to dry and cure for 24 hours. We're going to start the sanding process with a random orbital sander. We're going to use a 120 grit. You can go up for the grits for whatever desired effect you would like. Obviously, each grit making it smoother, each grit making it shinier, more of a polished effect. Now that we've sanded our walls, it's all prepared and ready to apply micro finish. Now, with a textured finish like this, you're going to want to prepare the pits with a brush and dab some of the micro finish sealer within it before rolling over the top. And you'll get that with any sort of texture finish, just to make sure it's sealed, especially in wet areas. You don't want any water penetrating into those pits. Depending on where your wall is, Rockcote supply a number of sealers. You get sealers specifically for bathrooms, wet rooms, sealers particularly for high traffic floor areas and that hard wearing sort of areas, and to cater for all your needs.